he will be responsible, along with an amazing medical profession, for saving thousands of lives. And I think it takes a lot of courage and guts to do it. And it is certainly unique. To my knowledge, no one's ever done it before. And I think partly for that reason, it will have a unique impact.
This evening, the Princess of Wales continued the royal support for those living with the disease. Kate visited a charity garden for the hospital where she was treated for her own cancer. And in a message, she called every sponsored flower an illumination of shared love, remembrance and hope. Will Tullis, ITV News.
The family of Virginia Giuffre, the woman who Andrew Mountbatten Windsor denies abusing as a teenager, say they're deeply disappointed that the Met Police has decided not to launch a criminal investigation into the latest allegation against the former prince. The Mail on Sunday claimed the former Duke of York asked his taxpayer-funded bodyguard to investigate Ms Giuffre in 2011. Scotland Yard says its assessment of the claim has not revealed any evidence of criminal acts or misconduct. The misery in Gaza has deepened after much of the Strip was hit by winter storms and flooding. Bombed-out buildings already teetering on the edge are now collapsing, and makeshift tents are being washed away. The UN says 800,000 people are affected. Meanwhile, despite a ceasefire, bombs also continued to rain down, as Sejal Karia reports.
Tonight, Israel released this footage of a drone strike on a car that it said targeted and killed a senior Hamas commander. On the ground, the wreckage where it's known at least 4 people were killed. Amidst the bombs, the misery from rain flooding many of Gaza's streets, running through neighbourhoods already shattered by war. Homes weakened by months of Israeli airstrikes are now giving way. In northern Gaza, rescue teams worked through the night, digging through unstable concrete soaked by rain. We've been trying to recover those that are trapped, this rescue worker said. 1 person has been killed, 5 are still missing. These were not homes fit to live in, but for many families, they were the only shelter left. In Khan Yunis in the south, families spent the night ankle deep in water. Tens of thousands are living in tents pitched on mud, sand and now floodwater. We need tents, this woman pleaded. It's so unfair. Our clothes and our bedding are soaked. Please help us with shelter. For those who survived the bombs, it is now the weather that is breaking what remains. Sejal Karia, ITV News.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says there is a significant opportunity for a peace deal with Russia ahead of talks in Berlin starting next week, which Sir Keir Starmer is expected to attend. But Russian strikes on Ukraine continue, the latest today on energy facilities in the Odessa region, leaving 1 million households without power. And 3 Americans, 2 servicemen and 1 civilian have been killed by an Islamic State gunman at a base in Syria. President Trump has promised retaliation. In the Premier League, Arsenal have gone 5 points clear at the top after a dramatic win over bottom club Wolves. Late in the game, Arsenal took the lead with an own goal from Wolves goalkeeper Sam Johnston. Then 2 goals in stoppage time. Wolves equalised and looked like putting a dent in the Gunners' title hopes. But in the nick of time, Arsenal won it with a second own goal of the night. Finally, the owner of the worst Cockney accent in the history of cinema celebrated his 100th birthday today. Dick Van Dyke, the American star of Mary Poppins and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, danced his way to becoming a film legend despite his loose grasp of British pronunciation. All with a twinkle in his eye that he says first appeared 95 years ago and still hasn't gone away. Here's Charlie Frost.
Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiree.
The charming chimney sweep with the questionable Cockney accent.
Oh, it's a jolly holiday with Mary.
It's this performance in the 1964 classic Mary Poppins that propelled Dick Van Dyke to international stardom. But it was much earlier in a nativity that it all started.
I was the baby Jesus. I was probably 4 or 5 years old. I made some kind of crack. I don't know what I said, but it broke the congregation up. And I like the sound of that laughter.
The Dick Van Dyke Show.
And it's laughter that's enriched his long life, making sure that despite every trip on the Ottoman, he's still standing, today celebrating his 100th birthday, 75 of those years spent in show business.
Put on a happy face.
Winning a Tony Award for the Broadway version of Bye Bye Birdie, he went on to win the hearts of audiences as the madcap dad in family favourite Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, we love you.
Now a centenarian, he hasn't lost his signature boyish energy, starring in a Coldplay video just last year.
Oh, my love. The funniest thing is, 100 years is not enough. You want to live more, which I plan to, incidentally.
A sweet bitch as lucky can be.
Dick Van Dyke feels 100 years young, and for that, he's lucky as lucky can be. Charlie Frost, ITV News.
Still making us all smile. That's it from us. The weather forecast is next, but from all of us here on the Weekend News team, thanks for watching and chim chim churi.
Visibility may be low this evening as the cold weather hits. Heinz Soups sponsors STV National Weather.
Good evening to you. Southern parts of the UK have had a pretty decent day today weather-wise. Northern and western areas have not fared quite so well. And as we head through the rest of the weekend and into the start of next week, we are still covered by a number of weather warnings for further heavy rain. But of particular concern, an amber warning comes into force tomorrow morning for parts of Cumbria and southwest Scotland, where we'll see up to 200 millimetres of rain over the hills and mountains, making for some really unpleasant conditions and certainly enough to cause some disruption. And you can see, frankly, why these warnings are issued across northern parts of Scotland, Northern England, Northern Ireland and Wales over the next few hours. We'll see a band of heavy rain effectively parking itself. It's not going to shift too far southwards. So if it's raining, it's going to be heavy with some strong winds, actually stopping the temperatures from dropping too low tonight. Drier across the southeast, but it does mean it's going to be a very unsettled start to Sunday across northern and western areas. Good night to you.
Heinz Soups sponsors STV National Weather.
Can I tell you a secret?
Redacted, sorry. Let's just say that normal service is resumed.
But we need a team.
I got yours back.
We're delighted to see them.
Names you know and stories you'll never forget. All on STV Player. Wet by the coast, with a high chance of sun and splashing. TUI sponsors STV Weather.
Hello, we have got some more very wet weather to come for Western Scotland. Met Office do have weather warnings which cover the west coast and coming inland, but down towards the southwest we will see an amber warning as we go through Sunday. Now the winds will ease off as we head towards Sunday, but this wet weather is just going to continue to feed its way in. Now the temperatures stay on the mild side, but across northern Scotland they could fall away because we'll see some clearing skies. Bit of brightness to start the day on Sunday, but that wet weather will continue to just feed its way in. That's coming up from the southwest, hitting that high ground, depositing all of that wet weather, brings a risk of flooding. Northeastern and eastern areas will be still a little bit more sheltered, but even so, through Sunday, some of these pulses will be reaching right across Scotland. So temperatures around 11 or 12, that's on the mild side, but you've got to add on all of that rain. We continue to see a warning down towards the southwest as we start Monday, but the wet weather is finally clearing away down towards the southwest. It says blustery with showers in the northwest, but generally a better day to start the working week.
TUI sponsors STV Weather. Saturday night's movie premiere now on STV with the DC comic action adventure. Expect strong language, violence and some disturbing scenes in The Batman.
Don't worry, she can't escape the electric fence.